What success story is widely thought of as rags to riches, but in reality they were wealthy individuals all along? Jeff Bezos was a hedge fund manager and VP at a banking firm before he founded Amazon. His grandparents were well-to-do energy politicians. His parents also gave him $300K to start the company. It's even better than that. It was $100K, then the company flopped. Then he went back for more money to try again. How many people have parents that can give them a 6-digit loan, let alone 2 6-digit loans? For some time, Kylie Jenner was applauded for being the youngest self-made billionaire, even though she was born into a multimillionaire family. I remember that weirdness coming out. Family worth billions collectively, but sure, she made all that money by herself, right? It's a lot easier to build a lipstick empire when you have the money for regular fillers. Your PR expert momager manages you for free, and you've had name recognition since the 4th grade. Bill Gates starting Microsoft in his garage. His mother was the child of a banker who was the child of a Federal Reserve chairman. She was also on the board of IBM, University of Washington, a major bank, and United Way. His father was a lawyer. While a lot of these billionaires certainly massively increased their wealth, being wealthy to begin with allowed them to take the risks to become ultra-wealthy. I like the county fair analogy. Imagine one of those games at the fair with the giant stuffed animal prize. The giant stuffed animal prize is becoming ultra-wealthy. The rich kids have enough money to take many shots to attempt to win the prize. The middle-class kids get enough to take 1 or 2 shots. The poor kids get no shots because they're the ones working the fair. 100%. But the rich kids are also saying, "It's equal, after all, we're all at the fair together," as they take shot after shot. "Why don't you just get your parents to pay for it?" they say to the poor kids. Guy I used to work with was one of those types who always bragged how he saved, and you could do the same as me and stop whining about being poor. He always skipped that part about his dad being a very successful businessman who gave him a job and a free house as soon as he was an adult. Now, on the flip side, I worked with an 18-year-old kid who asked if he could borrow one of my servers to host a little website he was playing with. He was a good worker, always asking good questions and learned fast. "Sure kid, knock yourself out." He worked really hard on it too. 5 years later that site was one of the biggest on the internet, and he's worth millions. Last time I googled him he was retired and spending most of his life traveling around. I won't dox him by saying his name, but it's a review site. An acquaintance of mine told me I would be fine after I got divorced. I was financially ruined, I survived. 1 year later he got divorced, and his parents bought him a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. Money might not buy happiness, but it sure helps with being able to choose your own form of suffering. Just refer to money as freedom tokens. The more you have, the more freedom you can acquire. Life is a shit sandwich. The more bread you have, the less shit you have to eat. My favorite article along these lines I saw was like, "How I Budget a Week in My Life as an Early 20s Professional Graduate in NYC," and the person who'd written it was like, an unpaid intern who worked like 4 hours a day checking emails and then taking 2 hours for lunch and then hitting the gym. Casually mentioned that her Manhattan apartment cost her nothing because her dad paid her many thousands of dollars rent, paid her bills, paid her phone plan, and gave her a few thousand a week as an allowance. And I'm like, who is this useful advice for? Knowing that there are a whole bunch of people like this, who have done nothing of value and do nothing of value but live like royalty. It could radicalize people, I suppose? Literally the argument I've had with my sister all our adult lives. She won a large amount of money in a lawsuit due to a car crash when we were kids. She bought her first house at 20 and would try telling me how renting was a waste of money and that if I was smart I would just buy a house. She loves telling people how she works hard and is smart with her money, so that's why she's able to buy all of the basic adult items that our generation keeps saying is out of reach. Like, bitch, you entered adulthood with a bank account that looked like someone put in a Sims money cheat code. Cinderella. She never lost her wealth technically. She was already a high-class lady and was never poor. I'm glad someone pointed that fraud out. On the inverse, Cristiano Ronaldo is true rags to riches, I believe. I think most true rags to riches stories is through athletics, particularly football because it's inexpensive to play, at least at first. I think that's why many go broke after their playing career. Many of them support a lot of their family members and friends. Pro athletes typically are true rags to riches, with the rare dad who was a pro athlete first. My favorite is Sylvester Stallone. He was rejected by literally every agent in NYC and told he was too stupid looking to become an actor. He was so broke at one point, he sold his dog. After he wrote Rocky, he was offered life-changing money for the script but turned it down because the producers didn't want him to star in it. Taylor Swift's dad bought a record label just to sign her LOL. Now, no one can argue that Taylor Swift hasn't worked her ass off with her opportunity. There is no squandering. She was given a castle and turned it into a kingdom. No doubt she is one of the best performers out there today. But there's no need to pretend it didn't come from a place of immense privilege. Nothing pisses me off more than the shot of their family home next to a quote about her claiming she grew up poor. The funny thing is that the true rags to riches billionaires, like Mark Cuban, are so rare that the majority of people find them off-putting and do not consider them real billionaires. You have no idea how many times I've heard that. Mark Cuban was at the right place at the right time. Yes, just like every other billionaire, except that Cuban literally came from a lower middle-class family. It's almost guaranteed that the rags to riches stories you hear are just PR. Mark Cuban has himself said him being able to become a billionaire is due to right place at the right time too. When asked in an interview if he had to start again if he thinks he could make $1 billion again, he said no. He likes to think he's a smart guy and could earn millions again if he had to start over, but he credits the luck and fortune of time, place, etc. to how you can earn that much money. It's a combo of skill, ability, circumstance, market outside of your control, and luck. Musk likes to play around with the whole I came from nothing stick, but doesn't tell you his father owned a goddamn diamond mine. My favorite was when he was downplaying denying the mine thing and his dad goes, "Oh yeah, no, I totally own, an emerald mine." There's also interviews where he's admitted that Elon and other family members personally carried emeralds into the US for sale. If he's happy to admit to smuggling and tax evasion like that, you can only imagine the things he considers worth keeping to himself. Billie Eilish. People think she did it herself as a young teen, but her family has been in the industry for years. Every pop singer that appears out of nowhere every few years is like this. Drake, who grew up in a ghetto in Canada, yet could afford to play hockey as a kid, was on TV at 15 because of connections, and his first concert was as the opening for Ice Cube. Definitely didn't start from the bottom. The ghetto he grew up in is one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the country. Yes, he may have been the poorest kid in the neighborhood, but it's a distorted scale. Or, another way to describe this is, they thought they had hit a triple when in fact they were born on third base. Mao Zedong. His father was a very wealthy farmer. Matter of fact, the wealthiest of his region. Honestly didn't know this one. Also same thing with Lenin. He came from an upper middle class background and went to college, which during those times was really only possible if your family had money. His family even had a summer house when he was a child. It's easier to point out the ones who were actually rags to riches than point out the ones who thinks they are but really weren't. Every trust fund baby I've ever known that started a successful business says, "But I did it on my own without any help from my parents." Then I asked them if their parents ever sent them to summer camps as a kid, or if they went to public or private school, or what college they went to. A lot of them are legacies, or how they paid for it. Where did they live during college? How did they pay for that? Did your parents give you money for food at college? What about going out with friends? How do you pay for that? Who bought your first car? The best is, how did you get the capital to start your business? 99% or better were either directly from their parents' family, or even better, family contacts, like their rich uncle's business partner invested a couple $100,000 after they pitched him their business idea. Don't get me wrong, it still takes a lot of work to start a business and grow it into $1 billion industry. But if you think your rich family upbringing and contacts aren't the reason for your success, you're fucking delusional. That's actually a proven phenomenon, called the success paradox. Successful people tend to underestimate the luck and help they had getting where they are and overestimate their own doing in it. If you are born in the first quarter of the year, you're up to 4x times as likely to be a pro hockey player as people born in the last quarter of the year due to tryouts being at the end of the year, so you have an age advantage. Trump's daddy was loaded and gave him the money to start out. Ed Sheeran. There was even a false story he was homeless in his early career, no doubt pushed by his record label. Reality: he went to private school and has rich parents. The homeless story stems from the fact that he used to couch surf and stay with friends when he'd play gigs in London or stay there for long periods of time. Ayn Rand claimed to come from nothing but grew up in a wealthy family in Russia. To be fair, they did get all their stuff taken from them by the Soviet Union government though, but got constant handouts and connections through her parents when she came to America. She was more riches to rags, ended her life on Social Security and Medicare. So she became the parasite she hated so much. Who faked a rags to riches success? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.